Okay, we're back with another video lesson, and in this one we're going to be discussing middling, which has some very close similarities to both arbitrage betting and hedging, which you'll realize throughout this video, assuming you've already watched both the mentioned videos. So what is middling? Middling is another sports betting strategy we can use that involves making bets on both sides of a game when a point spread or over-under odds move significantly. It's very similar to hedging, but like with most of these betting strategies, the difference really between them is more about intention or purpose, or how we use them. An ideal middle allows you the chance to win both sides of the game. Now, let's say you're looking at the NBA and you think the Toronto Raptors are a good play against the Milwaukee Bucks. So you go ahead and bet the Raptors at plus 7.5, and at some point after you made that bet, you notice that the Bucks star player Giannis has been ruled out, and he will not play for the game. So the spread for this game is adjusted, significantly for the Giannis news, with him being a key player. So you're already locked in at plus 7.5 on the Raptors, but you now have a middle opportunity here if you bet the Bucks at minus 3.5. And if you bet the Bucks minus 3.5 for the same amount you bet the Raptors at, no matter the outcome, you would be just risking the juice for a chance to win both. If the Bucks win by 4, 5, 6, or 7, that would be the general idea of a pregame middle, taking advantage of the significant line change in the market. Now let's look at another example here. And this is actually a real decision I have at the time of this recording. I bet the Dallas Cowboys minus 3. And later in the day, news broke that their opponent, the Philadelphia Eagles, will be sitting some key players, and the line moved to Dallas minus 7.5. Now, I have a really good bet with Dallas minus 3. I know that, and I could attempt a middle on the Eagles by betting them at plus 7.5, which would give me the chance to win both bets with no risk, depending on the bet amounts. But I would need a Dallas win by 3, or in between 3 and 7.5, which is a pretty good middle opportunity, especially when you consider how efficient the NFL spread markets are. And it's around those key numbers of 3 and 7, which are the most common outcomes in the NFL, and both those numbers are in play for this middle, so that would add to the appeal of a possible middle there. And as we know, not all points are equal, and if you can find a middle opportunity around key numbers, that would be the optimal approach. Now, what's important to understand here is just because there is a middle opportunity, it doesn't mean it's always a good idea to do it. We simply just want to make good bets, and we discuss exactly what good bets are in the expected value video or the closing line value video. And if we stick right here with this example, we want to ask ourselves, is it worth attempting the middle? Or I guess really the question would be, is betting on Philly plus 7.5, is that a good bet? We have Dallas minus 3, and although the line movement makes the middle possible, it also is what makes the original bet on Dallas a strong bet when we consider closing line value and expected value. Attempting a middle would give up some of that value we have on our original bet. I personally do not want to attempt the middle because, I'm confident in my original bet and don't want to give away any of that equity or expected value we have. Dallas minus 3 converts to roughly minus 150 on the money line, which has a break-even percentage of 60%. But the market is currently saying the implied odds on Dallas are 75%. So I have a bet that I need to win 60% of the time to break even, but the true odds are 75%. I want to keep that expected value. This Dallas example and the NBA example we did first, these are both examples of a middle for pregame, before the game starts. Now, most of the time when I attempt middles, or when I prefer to bet middles, they're in-game for second halves. And I'll go over a quick example here to show you what I mean. Let's say, you have a bet in college basketball. You bet the over 150 in Alabama versus Florida. And the game starts off great. They score 82 points in the first half. And at halftime, you go and check the second half total, and the total is listed at 84.5 for the second half. That's a second half total. They already scored 82 points in the first half, and now with the second half total, the sports books have it listed at 84.5. That's now the odds makers basically setting the new total for the game at 166.5. 82 first half points plus the 84.5 second half line. So remember, you already have the original bet on over 150. If you bet under second half 84.5, which is really the equivalent of now betting under 166.5, you'd now have a middle or a 16.5 point middle opportunity over 150 and under 166.5. When attempting middles on totals, I typically want to have at least like a 13-point middle range. You don't want to be trying to middle a total inside 3 or 4 points. It doesn't give you much of a chance there. Now, what's tricky with middles is the only reason the middle opportunity is available is because your original bet is looking so good. You have over 150 in a game where they scored 82 first half points, so it's well on pace to go over. So, betting the under can be tough, but you want to keep in mind that it's more likely the scoring will regress back towards the original total of 150 than it is to, continue on that pace. We're talking what's more likely. I'm not saying that's always the case, but, also when betting in-game middles, or really, any live in-game bets, which I know are popular, you usually, I want to be watching the game. You can gather some helpful info by watching the game that may not always be factored into the point spread or total. Maybe in the first half, both teams shot the ball extremely well, and they shot it way above their normal shooting percentage. And that's, it's more likely that they don't continue that hot shooting in the second half. Or, maybe one team's key players in foul trouble, or, a team has several players in foul trouble that could end up playing a big role in the second half or late in the game. Or, maybe you notice a player limping or, got a key, injury or something like that. These things can all be picked up while watching the game. It can be used as info to, gain an edge betting. But I'm going to actually have more, tips and stuff on specific live in-game wagering in a future video topic. But I think for this one, that kind of covers the basic idea behind middling. Hope you can now add this betting strategy kind of to your arsenal and sharpen up your game. And, as always, if there's something that isn't clear in this video or any of the other videos in the lessons or the betting course, just asking in the Discord. In my opinion, that's the biggest benefit of the Discord community is just being able to ask questions and, get an answer right away. I look at some of the members who have, they've really improved. And a big reason is because they always asked a bunch of questions when they first joined. So I always say there's no such thing as a dumb question. And if you have the question, there's a good chance someone else does, have that same question. So just ask away. But, and that's what the community's for. But, that's it for now. I will see you guys in the next